Welcome to Adulting Decrypted. We have started season 7. We're talking to you from sunny Cabo, New Mexico. We're excited. What's that look for? Is that not where we're at?
Is it New Mexico or is it just Mexico?
Welcome to Adulting Decrypted. We are your hosts.
I'm Gene, and I am starting my first year of college.
I'm Ashton. I'm a music performer, composer, and educator.
I'm Gideon, a high school senior.
I'm Roscoe, the dad. Those are my 3 sons, and this is Adulting Decrypted, where we discuss ways to become adults and the things we need to know to be successful at life. Oh, yeah, it's new to me, so it's New Mexico.
Sounds good.
It might be so late that I'm just tired and over sun baked. So welcome to season 7, everybody. We're excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Wanted to go through and do a quick update from everybody if we could. Gene, welcome back.
Thank you.
So where have you been? Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
So I've just returned about a month ago from a 2-year service proselyting mission in Louisiana and basically half of Mississippi.
Very cool. So that was a chance for you to be out on your own and start to do some adulting. Tell us a couple of times you won as an adult and maybe a time you lost.
I know some of the things that were definitely easier from doing the podcast was definitely starting off. One thing that has made it easier through doing this podcast and hearing all these different episodes, it helped me have a more open mind with those people that I started off with. When I met these different people, I was able to realize their different backgrounds quicker, and so it's better to easily adapt to those people. For those who don't know, you're basically thrown with someone random that you've never met before for roughly 6 weeks or long. For me, it tended to be longer. I'm more closer to 6 months than 6 weeks.
Wow, that is a long time.
For most of them, but some of them were just 6 weeks. But it was those different people, and like, hey, I need to be open to problem solve. One of the things that was still difficult for me, one of those things I need to work on, is talking with those other people, working with the doctors and all those different types of things. It's hard for me to ask help from those people.
So to recap, that you were successful, it helped you look and see how to work better with people and a different communication style, but still struggled with talking to other adults because they're with authority, or speaking with other people your age, or
I think it would be the people in those higher, I guess, positions, like doctors, just someone that's, I guess, in that more authority perspective, even like a cashier or something, someone at the customer service, those different places. Just that area I still kind of struggled with. But that's,
good observation. Thank you for sharing.
can you do it? Like,
Awesome. What's your next step?
so currently my next step will be college. I am set up to start in January. So I'll start school in January. I have to be actually fully living on my own with no other supervision, and perfectly having to build a schedule and attend to it without anyone over there being like, hey, make sure that you're doing more effective things with your time.
Perfect. Yeah, it is January 4th, so you'll actually have been at school a week before the first episode drops for this season. So very excited. Thank you. Gideon, tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, for sure. So I am currently in my senior year of high school, which is weird for me to think about because it doesn't quite feel like it. I spend a lot of my time at a technical college. So I'll go to first 2 periods of high school, and then me and a buddy from MTech, from our neighborhood, will go to MTech, the technical college, and I'm taking a course on digital marketing and analytics. So that's been super exciting. I've actually remade our whole website. So definitely go check that out. And I've been telling a lot of people about it. So super excited on where everything is going. And I love the opportunities that I'm getting and will get from this course.
So Gideon, you mentioned the website. What's a big update for the listeners so they know what to look for?
Of course. So a big update is our whole website in general. So I started from pretty much scratch and created a whole new Adulting Decrypted website with some blog posts that we've posted trying to get some more search engine optimization and get some more traffic to our website that way, as well as an episode search page where you can find all of the past 6 seasons of Adulting Decrypted through either different categories. We have areas of practical, which has, all the practical skills on it. Emotional health, all the episodes on emotional health. We have financial, and we have social.
Fantastic. Awesome. Where do you feel like you've still got an opportunity to grow and to learn this season and season 7 about becoming an adult? What do you think, are some of the things that surprise you that you still might struggle with, or do you think you have figured out?
I think a lot of my struggles are the same, no matter what work I've necessarily tried to do with it. And so more work is always helpful. And I bring that up because the last episode of season 6 was about our goals and how that didn't necessarily work out for all of us. And so I know that's a big thing that I have to work on and I want to get better at.
Great. Thank you for sharing. We went back and Gideon, we were just listening to episode 1, season 1. So listener, if you want to hear Gideon change from then till now, 13-year-old Gideon to 17-year-old Gideon's quite a different in voice and change. So awesome. Thank you. Ashton, what you been up to?
Well, today I went and petted a dolphin and then rode a pirate ship.
That's actually sick. By the way, that is so cool.
It was a pretty fun day. Yeah. So that's
what I've been up to.
Yeah. And that's a great answer for the listener. What about in your other part of your life? Yes, we've had a lot of fun at Cabo. We actually met a guy tonight.
His Instagram account is Ethereal in E. Saw him tonight playing his handpan in the streets of Cabo. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. We were like, is that the guy? Oh my gosh,
It's the guy.
It's the guy. And yeah,
so
we got our special birthday song.
Yeah, he gave us our special birthday song and sang to us.
Had I been smart, I would have recorded it, but instead we let him live stream it. So there you go.
It's true. As far as my normal life, not much has changed since we've had our last little podcast. Still just teaching at a local high school and running a couple different programs on the percussion space, writing music, and that's about it.
See, and I think something that's changed is you took more of a lead role on launching one of the winter drum lines. Isn't that a big development over the past little bit? Yeah, you've been on the sidelines, but you're actually putting together budgets.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And trying to recruit some students.
Yeah.
So you know about it, but the listener doesn't. Can you share us a little bit more about that process?
Sure. I mean, well, there's an after-school extracurricular program that I've been doing with one of the high schools that I teach. And so for like the past months, I guess that's why it doesn't feel new, is I've just been doing it for so long. But just have been putting together budgets, itineraries, reservations, all these different things that are needing to be put together in order to operate a program. Now the season has officially started, and so it's balancing, what students are actually going to participate, getting contracts signed, finishing up writing music for those groups, just all the various different things that go along there. It's interesting because sometimes we like to try and take success from seeing something actually done. Like when you go to work and you get actually paid, you're like, oh, hey, look, I got paid, so I successfully worked. Sometimes there's a one-to-one transaction, but there's a lot of this behind-the-scenes stuff that I think doesn't get an official payout until the long run, or some stuff you just have to know, hey, I did the best I could, and where we're at is where it's going to be, and that's just, it is what it is. So
Yeah, I think you hit on something pretty interesting there, Ashton. Payout and the timing of a payout. You hit on something very interesting there, Ashton. Payouts and timings of payout. I believe as you become an adult, they do change. As a CEO or an executive, I might see a payout within 2, 3, 4 years, on some of my ventures, and other stuff pays out fairly quickly, to your point, 1-to-1. But most of it has a long-term play. And when you're younger, most of your payouts are pretty quick. You go to a soccer game, within 90, normally you get a feedback pretty quick, right? We won or we lost. There's no in between, but on these bigger programs, you're finding out the payout's a little bit longer.
yeah, I mean, it's true, because like once you leave a competitive space or a transactional space, it becomes harder to determine, success versus failure, and there's this interesting middle ground that I haven't explored all that too much, because like part of teaching is preparing for concerts, and recently we just had our Christmas concert a couple weeks ago, and there was a lot that went into preparing it, and the concert happened and it was done, and it was just kind of, that's it. It was a successful concert. I mean, it was fun music. I think the kids had fun. You'd hope they do. The parents that came and watched it, you think they had fun. And that's kind of it. I mean, there's not a competition where it's like, oh, you won the concert, So
yeah, but you still got the payout, right? You got to see the joy on the kid's face. You got to see the payout on the parents' face. You're like, okay, that was my payout for that endeavor,
sure,
right? For the work we put in. And those are awesome experiences, but to your point on adulting, they have different cadences. And I think of mom payout, raising children is totally different than a payout for a business transaction or a business deal. And the feedback and the timing and the loop of that might be longer. So great points, Ash, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing where you're at. What's the biggest thing you're still trying to figure out as being an adult?
Being 100% with it is probably just figuring out what exactly I want to do, what I want to do and how I want to do it. Trying to make sure I'm working towards something that I find the most fulfilling, because I just don't know if I'm 100% certain with what I'm at and what I'm doing, and so it's just kind of a little bit of discovery needs to be made this year, I'd say.
Perfect. Thank you. Good point. Anybody gonna ask me? Oh, I mean, this is supposed to be a dialogue, not just a me interviewing you guys.
Sure.
Like, you guys can cross-ask questions.
Dad, what has been some of the successes that you've enjoyed this year?
Since we've last recorded, we got Gene home from a mission. That was a huge payday for your mom and myself. We also had a pretty rough month in October. Started probably really just about before my birthday, October. I turned 50, which is a milestone birthday for me. And it was a pretty rough month. I'm not going to lie. Not just the fact that I was turning 50, but I was taking the youth group up to do a camp out. And on my way up, the truck started to overheat again. So the truck was down in the shop for 2 weeks. Another turbo went out. So I had some money going out there. I've yet to replace the full income that I had previously before I got laid off due to the economic changes. Then on the way down to go to the shop, Michelle called me and said, I found a leak where the floor was buckling and why it was buckling, and called our insurance, and they drug their feet to try and get that to us and get that taken care of. And so we were there with a broken truck, a tore up house. I busted one of my front teeth, bottom teeth broke where I had a crown, and snapped it off. And so I had an implant put in. So it was just a lot that piled on. And there was a time, where I'm starting to feel like, wow, what was me, right? All these things are happening and I can't catch a break. And there's a cycle, I think, that we can catch ourselves in. We can always look for the bad thing. And one night when I was laying there, I turned to your mom and said, really, the fact of the matter is we've got a lot of good going for us if we're willing to take a step back and take a deep breath and look around and say, okay, we're going to be okay. Yeah, this all sucks. And then when we finally got approval from the insurance company about how much they were going to spend, but we couldn't get an appointment booked with the general contractor to get it done before Gene got home, we decided we were going to do most of the work and still trying to fight the money side of it, which still hasn't been totally solved, but whatever, 4 months. And somebody hit my truck and I'm like, okay, this is it. Nothing else bad can happen, but it did, there's still rough times. But as you step back and you look, I'm like, oh, I still have my health. The inputs I can control are only the inputs I can control. That was the biggest lesson for me over the last month is sometimes we have to look at our inputs and say, okay, am I putting in what I want to get out what I need to? And one thing that really helped me is in 2023 for this year, my goal has been mobility and physical fitness. And I was able to keep going to the gym and go to the gym every day and try and stay strong physically, not just emotionally, but physically. And I really believe that helped me.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember every time I came home and visited, if I stayed the night, it'd be like, okay, we're going to be gone really early. Maybe see you tomorrow, maybe not. It's like, okay, sounds good. Because y'all are
Because we're going to the gym.
heading to the gym.
Yep.
We should probably do a full episode on that whole October when it has worn off.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is I did document it, Nash, and I think it does warrant a conversation about mental health.
Yeah.
Right, especially when you're going through a lot.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun when we hear that. I think you kind of already covered did you cover what you want to work on throughout the season yet?
No, I talked about what I was working on in 2023 and the thing I need to do, and I think it probably echoes a little bit of what everybody's talking about, continue to get clarity. We've got some big things that we're trying to address, Mom and I, as we're launching a new business, which is I'm grateful for. I have a new client for pushing it, which is going well. We're getting some traction with our nest to empty nest, and then Gideon's put in some fantastic work on Adulting Decrypted on the website. Now with Gene back and with everybody refocused, I'm excited to where we can take Adulting Decrypted. So I think probably my biggest thing for 2024 is consistency, I think would be my word. So I think we can spend a couple episodes talking about consistency of effort. That would be the thing I'd like to focus on.
Yeah, that's awesome. I totally agree.
And I don't think it's just consistency inputs.
Yeah.
I guess that also covers not just the physical inputs that we put in, the hard work. It's also the consistency of our personality, the consistency of who we are and who we want to be. Consistently.
I like that, Gene, showing up and being present. Yep. There's been a lot of research I've been doing on a lot of things I'm excited to explore in season 7 as a group, as it pertains to emotional resilience, pushing it. Some stuff Gene came back from his mission with that he wrote down that he thought, man, that'd be great. Enjoyed conversations I've had with each one of you guys individually. Now I'm looking forward to sometimes to do some Zoom recording, as Gene will be down at SUU going to school. And Ashton will be probably up in Salt Lake, so we're starting to spread out, and that's okay. That's part of life. And excited about that next step for Adulting Decrypted and where we can take it into 2024.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Adulting Decrypted. We really enjoyed having this week's conversation, and we hope you did as well.
If you ever want to comment on the topics, you can send us a message to our website, adultingdecrypted.com, our email, adultingdecrypted@gmail.com, or through our Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn accounts at Adulting Decrypted.
If you have any topics for the show that you would like us to talk about, or if you are a parent and want us to talk about something your kids should know, send us a message on any of the accounts mentioned. If you'd like to be a guest or have an idea for someone you think we should have on our show, feel free to send us an email detailing your thoughts to adultingdecrypted@gmail.com. Adulting is teamwork.
We have merch. If you want to show off your Adulting Decrypted pride, check out our website, adultingdecrypted.com, or our partner website with shop.spreadshirt.com/adulting-decrypted. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please consider supporting us on our Patreon at Adulting Decrypted. Along with the benefits that come with our Patreon, and trust us, there are some pretty good ones in there,
You will not only be helping us continue in the effort to make great content, but you will be part of a community of individuals all trying their best to adult.
We appreciate you listening, enjoying, and leaving your positive reviews. Now, the special song from Gene and Gideon.